No, don't worry. I know if you read the title of the video, you think I restored the knife. I did not. After that mishap with the knife thinning for Harvey Two-Face, I wouldn't try something like that. Instead, who did restore a knife is Phillip Ortman. Let's learn about him now. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Franco Allo, and this channel is all about knife knowledge, reviews, unboxings, and head-to-heads. And today, we have a very special episode. Because it's not a knife review, it's not necessarily an unboxing of something that I've wanted, it's a knife restoration, something that I'm completely new to, and depending on who you talk to, they might call it a knife reconstruction. We're calling it, for all intents and purposes, a knife restoration. And this is the restoration of a post-World War II 240mm Gyuto from Unicorp. Now, because this video is already quite different than the other videos on my channel, it being the first knife restoration, we're gonna do things completely differently. We're gonna go straight to talk to Phillip to ask him our questions, find out who he is, what he knows about this knife, what type of restoration decisions he made in restoring the knife. Then we're gonna go to the unboxing so that you can eventually see the knife. You'll get to see the knife and its changes from the old stock photo that we have. We'll go into the knife demo and that will be it. In terms of my impressions of the knife, all I can tell you is it is a very sturdy 240mm rocker, and I rock the hell out of this knife. It's nice to have a Japanese knife that has a tough steel so you can rock sweep. You can even scrape across the cutting board if you want it and not worry about it being damaged, because originally the way this was constructed, as Phillip will say and mention, you'll hear that rather soon, is because it is a post-World War II Gyuto, it was still made in the way of the Western chef knife. And so those razor-thin edges weren't really part of the modern Gyuto as we know them today. In fact, they were just made to be sturdy, kind of look Western, but also have their own style. Now remember, if you do like this content, feel free to give this video a like and subscribe. It really does mean a lot. And without further ado, let's go straight to talking to Phillip, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hey Phillip, thank you so much for joining me today. Now tell me, I feel like we've been friends. We talk at least weekly, if not daily, but not everyone knows who you are, so I want you to tell people, who are you? Who is Phillip?
Well, yes, Frankie, I feel like we have definitely built a friendship around our shared passion for food and knives. Well, who am I? Well, I'm a passionate home cook. From the Midwest in the United States. I grew up outside of Chicago. Now I live near Green Bay, Wisconsin. A few years back, I decided that I wanted to treat myself to a nice knife and ended up far down the rabbit hole of Japanese knives.
Awesome, great answer, Phillip. Now, the second question I want you to let the people know is, how long have you been restoring knives, and why is this even a passion? Why is this even a side hobby?
How long have I been restoring knives? I started almost 3 years ago. I came to it as a byproduct of wanting to teach myself how to hand sharpen on knives that were less expensive than the ones I had owned. And then I started seeing all these knives that had been beat up or ignored and were no longer useful. I thought it would be cool to take these functional pieces of history and bring them back to a usable condition and then give them as gifts to family and friends.
Alright, lastly, what I'd like you to tell us is, what is the knife that the viewers are seeing, and what led you to making the restoration decisions that you decided to make?
So this knife is a 240mm Gyuto that it appears to be a carbon monosteel made in Japan by a company called Unicorp, which I have not been able to find any information on, so if anyone knows, that would be great. I'm targeting a period probably a little bit after World War II, so that's when the Gyuto was started, and it seems in profile and grind to be much more similar to the Western knives of the time than the way that the Gyuto would evolve in the 70s and 80s to get more delicate. So when I was thinking about how I wanted to restore this knife, I thought about the fact that I kind of wanted to make it have some of the newer Gyuto look so I tried to mimic the WA handle by having a ferrule and mimic that by doing two different woods. It's a bog wood and a maple wood. I talked to a few people to get input on what they thought would be a nice looking combination. And then I wanted to leave the grind and profile basically the same, so I repaired the damage to the edge and left it basically as a rocking motion knife. It definitely favors that over the push cuts. And one thing about it was the handle was originally kind of sharp and flat and narrow, so I did leave this one a bit more rounded for comfort. So that's basically what led me to make those choices.